Pulled out a little bit again. So what am I going to do in here? Right, well, I'm going to speak about it. Get my fine liners. I'm going to use black because I think it's more dramatic than the blue. For this one anyway. Now, I'm looking at my shapes I've got going on here and I'm quite partial to wanting to use the petal on its own. So that's the shape I'm going to use. I'm just going to get a drink, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is running stitch along the top and along the bottom, and then I'm going to French knot up there and French knot up there, okay? But the first thing I'm going to do is draw with fine liner in here some tiny petal shapes, and I'm going to do my first one as if it's coming in off the side in the manner of this one. Okay, that kind of gives the impression of a continuation, like I've cut it off a bigger piece. So if I do there, and I'm going to colour them in because I'm going to have positive and negative going on here. So that's the first one. Just petal shapes. So Deanna, this is where you could bring in those other things. Another one that looks like it's just coming in off the edge. I'm just going to stop a minute and check you can see this and maybe pull in a little bit. Already, I love this, already. Black and white, blue and white, be still my beating heart. So take a little shape from your own base layer and bring it into here, and this is another pattern. You've got another pattern already, you know. So I'm trying not to have them all going in the same direction. So, and I might have a little bit coming out of there, just a tiny bit. You don't have to keep them all the same size. You can do them bigger, you know, some big ones, some small ones. There. I mean, it might not be the best colouring in the world. I've missed a bit there. I just think, see, I'm in raptures now. Again, I want a bit bigger, coming in as if it's coming in off the side. You'll know yourself where you see the space and you feel like it needs something. Colour it in again. Now I could do the negatives in blue if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do them in black. All the time I'm doing this, I'm thinking about that. I feel like I want something there. Okay. Colour that in. Now my top sheet now is going to have more circles cut out. That's going to mirror these, cover them up so you can see them. And that's going to take in parts of these. Okay, that's what my plan is for the top sheet. When this video gets to 15 minutes, I'm going to have to turn off again because I've got to put something in the oven. It's like cook with mother. But we're alright for a moment, aren't we? So if I do another one coming off there like that. I don't know what you think, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just ridiculously easily excited, but I am very excited by this. You're probably thinking, get a grip woman, it's rubbish. You think, yeah, Christian Lacroix. I wish, just, I mean, come on. How can it fail to excite anybody? There. So that's my first bit done, and there'll be French knots up there. So now I want some positives, negatives, I don't know, open ones going on. So we'll have one coming in from here like that. Then we'll have a full one like that. Then we'll have a straight one like that. We'll have another little bit coming in there. We'll have a half one there. We'll have one here. Another one here. I mean, and how easy is this? Come on, I mean, isn't it? Love. I'm in love, I'm in love. It's nearly as exciting as David Beckham. But not quite, let's not get too over exaggerating. I don't know if you're in England, I don't know if you watch Emmerdale, but can I just say, I absolutely love Kane Dingle. Oh, I swear. I can't even believe it myself. Sometimes think I need to go and lie on a couch somewhere and talk to somebody about it. Kane Dingle, be still my beating heart. Right, there you go. So there. Look, isn't it wonderful? And imagine how wonderful it's going to be with knots. And then let's get this back. And look at the information we're developing here. Just look at the information that's building up here. Can you see? Can you see what I'm talking about? Now the tracing paper, I'm going to stand up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pretend that I'm ready to start cutting this up. Now I should have a little box somewhere. There, it's here. If I can open it. Right, the little tiny bulldog clips, okay, because what I'm going to do with the tracing paper, I mean there's so many things, I'm going to get these bulldog clips and I'm going to hold that securely so they don't slip. And there's so many possibilities with this, because let's face it, I'll just pull out again. When I'm standing up it's quite hard to see. Right. Let's face it, the black is showing through and that's black. So there's a contrast that could have been had there if I'd used blue. Okay, could have shown that blue against that black. But I'm just in love with that, so I'm not going to like worry about that. Now, put this away. So secure it with some kind of clips if you've got, or even paper clips, but just be careful that you don't wreck the top of it. And then get the tracing paper, because what I'm going to do with that is I need a compass, and I didn't bring my compass, but I'll just put this behind me because it's very big and unwieldy and I don't want to knock the camera. Oh, see, I've got it already. Right, so then put the tracing paper on top of it and clip it as well, making sure all these stay together. Right, I'm going to go and get my compass so that you know. I want to be a sec. Right, I'm back. So I want the holes on my neck sheet to be bigger than those, so that those holes are visible. So I am going to mark on here. I'll just make sure I'm in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to take my compass out a little bit and mark a circle on here, and I'm going to do that for every circle. There, that's the first one. And the second one. And I'm just good at guessing, I guess, because it's working out perfectly. There. That one's a bit off centre, but even that won't matter anyway. I think off centre's good, to be honest, especially over here, because I've not got a lot of margin to play with over here. I've got a very tiny amount of margin on this side. And then smaller, make it a bit smaller, and perhaps have one here. Okay. And then have one down here that would be over whatever's happening here. Make it another bit smaller again. And have it down here to capture whatever's happening over there when I've done that. And then on this one, oops, on this one, there. Okay, so now I know that if I turn that over to transfer it onto my next sheet of paper, it's going to be reversed. So what I'm going to do is write an F on here, so I know that that's the front. And then I'm going to turn it over and go over these lines and replicate them on the back and use this as my piece for transferring this to my next sheet of paper. Okay, so they will go on my next sheet of paper and they'll be cut out. They'll be cut out and they'll be stitched around like that, and they'll just look fabulous on top of there. So I'm going to progress that without you, because if you're waiting for me, you're going to be waiting forever. But I'll give you, only because when you're doing this, you'll know yourself how long it takes. And that's the only reason. It's very, very time consuming. This probably, I'm just putting this tracing paper away, this design sheet on its own is probably a class. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the length of time it takes to do it. It's probably a whole 2 weeks on its own. So I think I've given you the heads up there on, you know, how I'm going to go with this and progress it. So you can race ahead now and do that. But I'm just going to turn off because I've got my oven to attend to. And then I'll come back because I want to put a few French knots on there with you so that you can see how it looks. Right, that's the oven attended to. So I'm just going to put some French knots down, a couple, just down here, because I think if you get to see how that looks and how it enhances, I think it might spur you to do some. I'm just trying to find the end of my thread here off camera. It's like spaghetti. Spaghetti. Now I'm going to be bringing all these to London. If you're coming to London, I'll be bringing these with me, so you'll get to see them. I don't actually know if any of you are coming to London. Yeah, no, a few of you are, a couple of you are. Right, so just cotton embroider, sharp needle, knot in the end of the thread. That black and white, just doing that little tiny bit of black and white doodling there has just made me really, honestly, you may not believe it, but it's really sent me into raptures. Can't tell you, I don't get out enough, do I? Right, so, and again, I'm coming up from the back because I'm never ever gonna poke about from the back trying to find one of these holes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and because it's paper, you're okay to go down through the same hole because it won't pull it through. It's not like open weave fabric there. And then again, I might not put a French knot in every hole. I'll start by missing one out and doing one, and then when I've finished, if I feel it needs more, I'll go back. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think the more the better, to be honest, because it just looks better. That's a personal thing though. It's what appeals to you aesthetically that matters. So if I do that one, so that's how I do them. Okay. very soothing, honestly. And when you get it up against the black, the contrast is lovely. It's really, really lovely. I'm going to go back and put one in that hole I missed out because I've decided I want one in there. Now you can mix and match this, do it any way you want. You can have pin pricking on all three and French knots within the pin pricking. You could have French knots in there, do you know what I mean? Mix it up, change it. Like I said in my first email, try and change at least one thing from what I do and, you know, assess the differences, because honestly, it's worth it. So there's another, I'll do another French knot and there, so you get a sense of how easy that is. I'm going to actually fasten this off, this French knot bit, and I'm going to go to the top and do that running stitch on the top to see how that looks. Now I am going to finish this because I need it for London, don't I? And plus I owe it to you to finish it, to show you, and I want to do it because it really excites me. So you will get to see it finished. But the next video is going to be me starting you off on our second sheet, okay? Which again is something that I played with in practice for this class. If you're wondering when we're going to be using the zips, they're going to be in the last sheet, okay? But the next sheet is going to be the beads. So I told you I was going to be using those beads because I ordered some and they've arrived. So across here, and that's the last one, and I do like that actually, the running stitch across the top. I like that definition there. So that's it. So now you know, you've got a proper good heads up. If I've missed anything out, anything you're not sure of, just let me know, email me. But like I say, it's not fair on you for you to have to wait for me, because, and it's not that I'm making you wait on purpose, it's just that it's time consuming, as you know, to do it. And I can't keep up with myself, never mind expecting you to. So there. So don't forget your top sheet, leave yourself plenty of area. Wherever you put these, leave yourself plenty of space to cut out your next one. I was a bit remiss over here, I didn't really leave myself enough. That's going to be tricky for me, so don't you repeat that error. Okay, so the next video is going to be about our next sheet.